What's up there, niece and nephew? It's your big uncle. Hello, aunties and uncles out there in the world who are really getting tired of the West. I have some really great content for you guys today. So if those of you who are new to the channel may not know that when Vietnam became incredibly tyrannical during the pandemic, I hopped on a flight to the first country that would let me in, and Albania let me in. Since then, it's been in my heart. I arrived in Albania. There was no COVID. Nobody cared. Everybody was kind of chilling in cafes and just doing their thing. And I had just left the kingdom of fear, where Vietnam was becoming much like China. You may hear about it less in the media, but it was equally bad. So we got out of there, and we ended up finding a little Tirana, Albania. It turned out to be one of my favorite places in the world. And I stayed there for 9 months, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu and just making local relationships with real estate agents, lawyers, consultancies. Because once I found this country, I realized that this place is completely untapped potential. You are in Europe, you have a European lifestyle, but at a much lower cost than a Western European country or a place like the United States. You have a very friendly visa policy towards the U.S. We get 1 year on arrival. It's also a NATO member state. So, you know, you're pretty safe in Albania. Like if something happens to Albania, it's World War III anyway. So it's not a bad place to be positioned. And I soon started to realize the untapped potential. And since then, I've been hustling and grinding in Asia with my eyes on eventually having property or land or something in Albania to settle down, because me and the wife both like it, and it's very accessible to the rest of Europe. And you're not in the crazy woke EU. So they're not passing weird laws. They're just kind of, you know, they've seen it all already. And this is another thing I liked about Albania. They've had communism, fascism, ism. They've been through it all. They've seen it all. They're not impressed. And that was one of the biggest things for me that I liked about the country, was I didn't feel like there was any bullshit there. Like the relationships were real. The people told you how they feel. And as an old school New Yorker, that's something I really value. So I want to introduce you to my partner. His name is Neo. Yes, like the Matrix.
Trinity! Help!
And, you know, God, I mean, he took care of me the entire time I was there. And it came to me that, man, that's a valuable thing to have. It's good to have a local who can do this for you. And it's essentially what I was doing in Southeast Asia. And since then, we've had a couple customers who've come through and have actually had an interest in our Albania service. So it's important now that we kind of develop it a little more and we give you guys a little bit more idea of what we're actually doing. So I guess let's start off by talking about what's going on in Albania as far as like growth, tourism, expats, digital nomads, retirees. What's going on there at the moment?
It has gone crazy. I'm telling you, Jay, it has gone crazy. Like I would say the last couple of years, we have seen like a huge increase in tourism, in expat communities, in retirees that are coming to live here, to retire here, in foreign investments, whatever there is like to deals with foreigners. We've seen like an increase in it, you know. Finally, like it was time, you know, because Albania has been like a really chill country, a really good country to retire and to do your vacations or whatever for a long time. But only like after COVID, it got the recognition it deserved, you know. So lately, you have all these expat communities, not only in Tirana, which is the capital, but in all the main cities, in Vlora, in Saranda, like. And the thing is that in Albania, what I've noticed is that there are coming like foreigners from all sides of the world, you know. So Albanians welcome everyone, not just the Westerners or not just the Easterners, or you know what I mean? Like everyone is welcome in Albania. I see like all sorts of like nationalities, like ethnicities coming here, investing here, buying property, or simply just like living for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And usually people that come here for vacation, when they go back, they give it a thought to come and live here, you know, like to move to Albania for good, you know. It's a chill country. It's a good country to live in, especially if you're a foreigner.
Yeah, and you know, it has not really gone all in on some of the crazy stuff you see in Europe. Like I felt
Not
like when
yet.
I was in Albania, I felt like I was in the 90s. Like people talk on their cell phones to each other. They don't just stare at their screen. You know, people sit in cafes and have conversations. Your friends actually
That's
come
pretty
to your
normal.
house, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. We're social people. Like I would like the only countries that I can compare it to are like Italy and Spain. Like southern Italy and southern Spain. You know, it's kind of like the same culture here. People gather after they finish their work. Like in the evening, they have a beer, they have a coffee. Like they discuss about what is happening in their lives. You know, and the thing is that everyone here is welcoming. You know, that's and friendly. Like that's the most important part. I
yeah.
really love
And
this about my country, you know? Everyone is super friendly with everyone, you know?
I think the safety concerns are largely, you know, they're not real. Like people get, I tell them, I'm like, oh, I lived in Albania and I want to retire there or settle down there or have a business there, and they're like, why? And it's like, man, this is like one of the safest places I ever have been. Like
This
Southeast
is,
Asia is
yeah,
safe, but Albania is even safer,
it
man.
doesn't compare. It doesn't compare. Like, just to make sure about this, I've talked to like countless of foreigners because I have lots of, I'm saying foreign friends, you know, and about the safety thing, and they all tell me the same thing. Safety here is like one of the main points, you know, like there's almost zero petty crimes, you know, like, yeah, we have a problem with corruption and with the government, but tell me a country in the world that doesn't hate their government or doesn't have problems with their government, you know.
Yeah, like I gotta tell you, I felt like the concerns people had were completely silly once I spent 9 months living there. My
Yeah,
wife,
you saw it yourself.
she
You saw
walked
it
around at
yourself.
any time, and she never felt unsafe, and it was always fine for a female. And you know, she would go to the store by herself, and it's just
Yeah,
so chill there. And people are all related, guys. So if you've never been to like, you know, Southern Europe, it's like a lot of larger families and everybody's kind of connected. So
yeah,
people
it's
mostly
true.
behave themselves.
It's true. It's true. Like for females, like I've talked to lots of female foreigners, tourists, and travelers and expats, and like the worst thing that can happen is like how do you call it? Catcalling.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the worst total like the worst case scenario. You know, like you can go out at 3 a.m. in the morning and nothing would happen to you.
Yeah, and like we did, you know, granted we lived in the center in a good area, but still, like I never felt sketchy. My jujitsu club is in a super local area. The sketchiest thing is how narrow some of the roads gets and the speeds that some of the guys take driving through them. So you're
The
more likely
driving,
to
the
get
problem.
killed in traffic than you are to get killed by any crime.
It's still not that big of a deal like Albanians because we say that Albanians are really bad drivers. To be honest, I would say the opposite. Albanians are really good drivers. They just don't follow the rules, you know? Like everyone, like
Yeah.
it's, I call it organized chaos, you know? Like you
Mm.
see these people driving around like crazy, but they all know what they're doing, you know? Like they all
Mm.
have the eyes on the road. They see when someone is passing the street. It's still like not something to be proud of, you know? But uh, it is what it is. Like, yeah, yeah. We don't
You
really
you
follow the road rules, you know?
You should see Asia. You guys are like
Yeah,
Switzerland. You're Switzerland compared to India or compared
yeah,
to like
yeah, yeah,
Vietnam. So for me, it was like a culture shock the other way. Like I went
yeah.
from living in Asia for at the time I was there for maybe 5 or 6 years. You know, it was a long time. Now, so I'm there. I was in Southeast Asia a total of about 7 years, and I had a 9 month break where I ran over to Albania. And as soon as I got there, it was just like weird. I felt like I was in the like
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
I
it's
felt like
true.
I was in New York, you know, because
We
you guys are
compare it.
so. Hmm?
Yeah, so we compare it to the West, like to Germany or to Switzerland. It's true, you know. And when we say that, like it's really bad in here, but it's not that bad in the end. It's not like real, like that bad, you know.
No, Albania is cool, and you can grow your own food there. The government isn't totally up your ass. It's not a
Yeah, it's
nightmare to
true.
deal with, you know, even dealing with the government. Like I had to do some stuff there with the paperwork towards the end to travel with the fucking pandemic and all that stuff. And honestly, I walked into a building, there was no armed guard, no metal detector, just some old guy sitting on a chair. And
Yeah,
then everybody in there was really nice and they tried to help me. And like, it really
yeah, yeah.
wasn't like, you know,
Okay,
like dealing with.
I'm gonna say this. Like the bureaucracies are a bit I'm sorry for the word shitty here, you know.
Mhm.
Like it, people try, like it's not the people who do the work there that is the problem. It's like the laws and the formalities. Like you have to go around to finish stuff, you know. But people are willing to help you all the time, you know. People are polite and friendly and helpful, like really helpful, you know.
And that's where our service is so valuable because we just connect you to legit Albanians that are good
So,
faith actors and their intentions are to just do business. And, you know, there are bad faith actors in every country. There's people looking to
of
take your
course,
money. One of my good Albanian friends from jiu-jitsu told me, I asked him, I'm like, is it safe to invest in Albania? He said, of course, man. But he said, you know, there are people who will rob you. And I mean, that's true, you know?
just
So
like
that's
everywhere
one
in
of
the
the
world, you
things
know.
that I think we really can help with, like for prospective expat. Like if you're thinking about coming to Albania and you're concerned about dealing with any of the bureaucracy, like, yeah, like I guess the point I was making was I wasn't necessarily saying the bureaucracy was easy. I was saying that it's more like the people treated you like a human being. Like if you go
That's
to
true. That's true.
a government office in the United States, you're going to be going through like metal detectors, bulletproof glass, big armed goons that are going to be
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
like not friendly, not helpful, you
And no
know,
one gives
like
a shit. No one gives a shit about your problems.
yeah, throw your fucking bag in the scanner, you know, and then you're going to queue up for 2 hours and stand behind a bulletproof glass while some bitch doesn't want to talk to you, fucking shuffles papers for 30 minutes, you
Yeah,
know. And
yeah, yeah.
so it's the same pain in
It's
the
more
ass
laid
and the same,
back. It's more laid back here.
right.
Way more laid
They
back.
treat they treat you like a human.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. That I can confirm.
Yeah, so tell me more, man. So tell me what's happening with the real estate out there. Albania, I always think I think
Uh,
it's a good time to buy.
like there's always a good time to buy. Like a good time to buy was like 3 years ago when everyone
Mm.
was scared to buy. Like that was the absolutely best time to buy. The real estate prices recently have gone like depending on the areas, depending on the cities, but have gone like from I've seen an increase from 50% to 200%. I'm telling you, if you had a property close to, I'm not saying in a city center, I'm not saying in the main areas, you know, but if you had a property in Tirana, at least in the capital, and 3 years ago, and you wanted to sell now, you would have made twice the profit, man. I'm telling you, like the prices have gone like crazy, crazy, crazy. This also has to do a lot with I would say informal money. Like some years ago, the government introduced the financial amnesty law, you know, and everyone who had like dirty money, they started circulating it, you know, building like
That's
it's
it's a good
it's
law.
being built. In my opinion, yes, because the
Yeah.
money was being held by this like super rich dudes, you know. But now it's circulating, and I see a change. Even though the prices have increased, but also the salaries have increased, the cost of living is way better. You know, we have more options. As I told you, like everywhere in the world is like a bit difficult to like for the average person to make ends meet, and you have to hustle, you know. But it is what it is, you know. There are like in my honest opinion, right now in Albania, there are more opportunities than ever. Than ever.
So I would say it's a good time to buy because we still look and we still keep an eye on the market and we still talk to real estate people there and there's still deals to be had, guys. Like I'm not kidding when I tell you it's entirely possible to have an ocean view with for like 120K euro or
It's true.
less.
It's true.
You might need
Not
to
not
do
just
some
an
work
ocean view, like
and
amazing views. You know the nature here. You've seen
mm,
it. You've seen
I
it.
mean, yeah, I've been to a lot of different cities in Albania, a far cry from all of them because there's so much going on in this little country. But also, I've been to some of the neighboring countries, and guys, you could in like less than 3 hours, you're at Lake Ohrid. You can go to Macedonia. It's like a short drive. Greece, what, 4 hours from the capital? You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you can.
You can be in at the top of a mountain, and you can be like at the most amazing beaches you've seen in your life, and you can be like in a castle, like ancient city, ancient towns. You know, everywhere, you know, everywhere, and a 1 hour flight away from Italy, you know, like 2 hours away from Germany, from Netherlands, from everywhere in Europe, you know. You want to
You
go to
can
Spain,
drive.
you can also drive, yeah. You can
You can
drive
drive
everywhere, basically.
To Montenegro in like what? How far is Montenegro? Like not
three
even two
hours,
hours?
three hours,
Three
two
hours,
hours and
three
a half, you
hours.
know. And the
Yeah, and that's another
infrastructure, the
beautiful country.
infrastructure, infrastructure is getting better each year. You know, like I would say 5 years ago, to go to Zermi, to the Riviera, which is like absolutely my favorite part of Albania, the Riviera, the Southern
It's
Riviera.
cool.
It would take you
It's
like
cool.
4 hours, 5 hours. Now you go there for 3 hours, 2 hours and a half. And they're also building like some other main roads, you know, that can take you there in 2.5 hours. You know, things have changed a lot, Jay, in the past 3 years.
Honestly, I didn't find the infrastructure so bad when I was there because, we took that highway on the way back. We drove obviously down along the coast, and then I came up Girocaster, and then Girocaster back up through, kind of the not so exciting, but the fast highway that gets you directly
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
Tirana. And
The
it really
bypass.
was, it wasn't bad. I drove the entire way. I had no problems. Like there was a couple times in Saranda where like some dude like nearly clipped me coming through at like high speeds, but
There's
again,
always the crazy dude.
the streets are tighter, in Albania. So for people, you've got to really like look out for yourself, but also look out all around you, because people will come out of anywhere. And like in Asia, it's a lot more bikes. And yeah, there's cars and trucks and stuff, but there's a lot more motorbikes. And Albania, there's a lot more cars. And that's another interesting topic we should talk about. Guys, you can get a Benz out there for like nothing. Like a used Mercedes, like a dope used Mercedes, a 10-year-old one or something, or 5-year-old,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
like Toyota Camry money in America.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like we import a lot of cars from the West, like old cars for the West. But in Albania, they're new cars. They're considered new cars. Like 2010, 2015, we consider them like good cars.
A friend of mine, he explained it to me that after the war, and when the dust settled and the country started to have some prosperity, a lot of people went and bought Benzes because they couldn't have that kind of thing during communism. So now,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
afterwards, everybody was like, give me. So now there's like
It's
this
true.
surplus of like older used Mercedes that you can cop. And if you
It
don't live
used
right
to
in the
be.
center,
Yeah, it used to be, but nowadays you see like all sorts of cars. Things have changed a lot. Things
yeah,
have changed a
yeah,
lot. I think with globalization, like things have changed a
sure,
lot.
of
Like
course.
we're also touched by it. But like 10 years ago, like I would say 1 in 2 cars was a Mercedes.
Even when I was there, I wouldn't say 1 and 2. I wouldn't say 1 and 2, but a lot,
Two,
like
yeah, a lot, a lot.
noticeably a lot for me to even bring it up, because like, and I'm from New York, and like, yeah, a Benz, even if you have a 20-year-old Benz, like you're doing okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're good.
Like,
They're good cars. The Germans do good cars.
we got some real shitmobiles in the US, bro. We got some things that shouldn't even be on the fucking road. But living in Asia, man, again, it's the opposite culture shock. I went to Albania.
Contrast. Yeah,
I felt like I was back in the West. People were chilling in cafes, drinking coffee. I understood the culture right away. I was like, okay. It just felt like home.
it's a lot different than the States, like, okay, you can compare it a little bit to New York, but the States in general, I think it's like a whole different culture here. I told you,
Big
like,
time.
I can only compare it to like southern Italy or southern Spain.
Yeah, but compared to Vietnam, it's just like America. Do you see what I mean? So there's these
Yeah, yeah,
extremes, right? Like there's Vietnam different, and then there's like
yeah,
Albania and America different. Like, yeah, they're
yeah,
different.
yeah.
They're
We're
different.
on this side. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's
It's
still
true.
kind of the same, but it's the same in a better way. It's the culture. Like the Western countries that are kind of more developed and more wealthy, they've kind of fucked up with the migrant thing. They've let in more people than the countries can handle. It's created all kinds of problems in the society. They've got social breakdown. They've got social degeneracy, drug addicts, crime.
True, true, true.
Albania has problems. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I mean, listen, guys, at the moment, I live in southern India. So I'm one who is very open-minded. But comparing Albania to like the violence and the insanity in like the US is like, it's funny, like, almost
It's
like,
day and night, day and night. You
yeah,
can't
no,
compare it. You simply can't compare it.
it's so chill, and it's low population. There's not people everywhere. There's resources. There's water. There's a lot of fresh water. You can grow
The food is
food.
amazing. The food is amazing. You should mention that.
Yes, the food is some of the best food I've ever eaten. They don't like spicy, and I do like spicy, but they make some good, like some of the best yogurt and like stuffed vegetables and things like that. Because I'm a vegetarian,
Yeah,
and that's another thing, guys. Albanians love meat,
yeah.
but
I just want to say that,
super
like,
easy to be a vegetarian if you want to be.
also true. Like, you can be a vegetarian here, but for the, I'm saying the meat lovers, you can find like some of the best quality meat in the world there. You know, you go to a
Top of the
random
world.
village, you go to a random village in Korcha or in Theft, you know, and you have this like people that have their own cattle, you know, and you can simply like, you can even pick the animal that you want to eat later. You know,
Mm.
it's like that, you know.
So we're pescatarians, so we do like seafood and eggs and shit like that. There was no word for it when I was a kid. My mom just wasn't into eating meat. She was a hippie. So and even now I think she still believes in like reincarnation and then like, these Eastern ideas. It's funny how people in the West love the idea of the East, but they've never lived in the East. So they
Yeah,
don't
it's
really
true.
understand how fucking crazy it, like there's good things, but there's also crazy things, like things that like you probably would not think. So anyway, that's how I became this kind of diet, and I just kind of kept it up because fish and eggs is a good source of protein. And guys, like I was shopping for most of my own food in Albania. Sometimes I would go to Zagaras, which are like grills, but they have crazy side dishes and pastas and pizzas and
Amazing
the
appetizers.
oh my
Amazing.
god,
Amazing.
like
I want to
fucking.
eat now.
And as soon as you leave Tirana, the food just gets better, like
Yeah,
instantly.
it's true. It's true. It's true. Like that's also something I wish to talk about. Like the countryside has the best food possible. Like you have like a simple tomato, but it's so flavorful. You know, it's like it has that like beautiful red color, and when you taste it, it's like it fills you up. It fills you up. You know. And I've been to Western countries. I've been to Netherlands. I've been to Brussels. You know, and I could see like in the supermarkets there were all these like fruits. They were all identical. You know, like I would see these apples. They were all the same. You know, like big apples, all the same. You know, like clones. You know, and when you ate them, they had like zero flavor, man. I'm telling you. And I compared it to the apples that I eat here in Albania, like the vegetables or the meat. Like it doesn't compare. It doesn't compare.
I was getting kilos of cherries for 300 lek, which is like about $3.
Yeah, yeah, we produce a lot of cherries, lots of
A
olives
kilo.
here. Yeah, it's true. Like watermelons now in the summer, like everything,
farm
everything.
to table
You have
farm
options,
to table cheese, farm to table cheese, like freshly made.
Yeah, yeah, eggs that were like just collected yesterday or today.
And for those of you who are able to make money online and you don't need to be tied to the local economy, I'll tell you, for like the food standards in Albania are far better than in a lot of Southeast Asia. And if you live in a lot of these countries in Southeast Asia, you can get good food for sure, but you can't just assume food in the market is good, because there's no regulation on like what they do with the food. So a lot of these countries use like very heavy metals and like pesticides all over the wet market food, that you would buy at like a wet market, like your typical, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
uh, like fruit and veg stand, right? Because you don't know where it's being sourced in Vietnam or if it's being sourced in China, which also has really no standards. So, for those of you who don't need to work, Albania might be a better option even than Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is probably a bit better if you need to make money in the local economy. But, Albania and just the general Balkans really has a lot to offer. I
If you have
mean,
a good income, like if you're a digital nomad or a retiree, like I think Albania is a better option than Southeast Asia. Like you can't really find a job if you're like, let's say, from the States. You can't really find a job here that would fulfill you financially. Like you can earn an income enough to make a living, but not something to like really fulfill you financially. But if you're a digital nomad, if you have like sources of income, multiple sources of income. If you're just retired from, let's say, a Western country, Albania is like a really good place to be in.
guys, this video was sponsored by Safetywing. Don't find yourself jammed up in an Albanian hospital without having some health insurance. What's up, guys? I'm in Mysore, India. I'm chilling with this cow here. If this cow were to give me mad cow disease, I would want to have health insurance. And if you're going to live as an expat, you're going to want to have health insurance too. He's either biting me or licking me. He's licking me. Oh, hello.
It's so cute.
See, if I get sick from touching this cow, I want to have health insurance, right? So Safetywing is a good health insurance for people like me who travel around the world and live in interesting places. I'm covered. If I get sick in India, at least I got health insurance. Safetywing is designed for people who move around and who travel, so it's the perfect health insurance for people who live our kind of lifestyle. So as far as Albania goes, for people who are looking to retire, people who are looking to be digital nomads, people potentially who have kids or families, one thing you guys should be aware of is that you will eventually be allowed to naturalize. So that's something that is a lot different in Southeast Asia, where you're perpetually an expat. And your chances, yes, there are some possible ways to naturalize, but it's very uncommon, and it's very, very difficult, and also unclear how it would work exactly. Whereas in a place like Albania, there is a clear path to residency if you decide you want to stay, and eventually there is a pathway to citizenship.
True. Especially for U.S. citizens, it's like easier than ever. You know, you guys can stay for up to a year. You don't need a visa or something. And if you wanna extend the period of staying, you can just, when you come here, you start applying, do the procedures, and you can get like after the 1 year, you can get another year, and so on. You know, while for the most Western countries, European countries, Canada, it's up to 30 days, up to 90 days. I'm sorry, 3 months, and you can renew it. By what I've seen many people are doing. They come here for 90 days, they just go for 2 days in another country, and it is automatically renewed, you know, and they come back here for like another 90 days. I'm not going to get into the details because I'm still not sure for how long can you do it or the logistics of it, you know. But I've heard many Westerners, you know, from Germany, from France, from UK that do this, from Italy. They come here after 90 days, they go for like a couple of days back in their country, or in Montenegro or in Greece. They just get out of the country and they come back in again, you know. But also,
Yeah,
it's easy to get the residency. Sorry, it's easy to get the residency.
It's called a visa run. It's a common thing in most countries that have a lot of expats. And if you are an expat and you need this kind of service, my partner here can arrange a reliable, safe driver who will take you to the border and back. You know, we can find out the particular specifics on what is going on at the border at the time that you decide to contact us. So we can help you guys in a lot of different ways, whether it's acquiring real estate, reliable, safe drivers, help with you know, selling or buying real estate, help with structuring
Paperwork,
companies,
everything. Like fraud prevention. You know, you mentioned in the beginning, you know, about people getting like scammed or a subject of fraud. You know, and of course we help you with that. Like one of my main points, because I see like a lot of people when they come here, they're a bit scared to invest here because they've heard all sorts of stories, like the same property being sold to 3 different people, you know, or like all sorts of things, you know. And one of the, let's say the main focus of our work is like fraud prevention. You know, we make sure that nothing bad happens whatsoever.
it's the only way the country is going to develop. It's the only way people are going to feel comfortable bringing capital there, and it's
true.
smart, you know. And
It's true.
that's why we partner, you know, because I've known him for a while. He's done the right thing by me, and I trust him. So, you know, we charge a consulting fee, guys, but once you're in our network, you have access to everything you would need in Albania. So
We'll
our
take care of
service,
you. Yeah.
it's useful for people who are looking to arrive and already have a structured network for all the services and service providers that they could ever need or want. Advice on how to buy food, where to buy food, how to acquire medicine, what hospitals are good, what, you know, pretty much information you need on anything. So guys, reach us on the Facebook fan page. If you have any questions, if you've enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, share the videos, help us fight the algorithm. We try to bring you non-watered down content and just be honest about how we feel about things, and you know, come across in a genuine way, because there's so much BS on the internet. And, you know, I think it's better to be transparent and build relationships this way. So if you guys need help, reach us. You can reach us at anything in this description below. And I just wanted to ask if there was any final thoughts you wanted to leave them on why right now Albania is like really the spot to go.
Okay, so to be honest, I think as I told you in the beginning, I think Albania is finally getting the recognition that it's been missing this whole time. You know, like since the 90s, after dictatorship, then civil war, then lots of corruption, then lots of informality, then lots of like shady business, people like the fraud thing that I was talking to you about. Things have changed a lot. Like in the past 10 years, Albania is like upside down. Like it has changed completely. It's like a really good spot to be in, to live in. Like the lifestyle is pretty good. It's chill, you know, the people are friendly, welcoming. The food is amazing. You have the nature. Like if one day you don't want to be in the city, you drive your car half hour, 1 hour away from the mountains, from forests, from lakes. You know, like I think it's like a really small country where everything is concentrated in this really small country. You know, like it's I don't know. It's like you have Switzerland here, you have Canada here, you have Maldives here, you have Italy here. I don't know, you have everything here, you know. You can find
And
everything in like
guys,
a really small country. Like that's like I think the main reason that people are like really enjoying it so much, you know. It's like really small, everything condensed in it, you know, like you know what I mean?
and guys, I'll summarize it like this: low population, lots of fresh water, lots of land that can grow food, kind of in the middle of everything, but also in kind of remote and away from everything in a way. And you know, it's just a chill place. It's really hard to go wrong. They're pro-West, so if World War III kicks off, you're in a country that likes you. I mean, you know,
Sure.
I like
Let's hope it doesn't happen, but
it.
but still.
Yeah, but it's something to think about. Like I was living in
Yeah, it's
Cambodia.
true, it's true.
I love Cambodia. Cambodia is a fun place, man. But at the same time, you know, if World War III kicks off, they're very close with China. You know, they have a very
You're
close
fucked.
relationship.
You're fucked.
It's not going to end too well for Whitey, probably. But you
Yeah, and
know,
you're so far away. You know, you're so far away.
Thailand and Vietnam are pro-West. So, like, you know, if you're in those countries, there's like Thailand has U.S. military bases, and you know, I'm not sure if they've gotten rid of. I don't think they got rid of all of them. I think they still have some bases there, but Vietnam, they don't have bases, but they have like a relationship with them. So there's like a military partnership because Vietnam is more concerned with China, like that, you know, like China's right
Yeah,
next door for them. And
I don't think
Cambodia,
China. Sorry, I don't think China and the States will want to clash with each other. They're, in my opinion, they're very dependent on each other. You know, like if one of them
yeah,
goes, the other goes. You know, if one of them falls, the other falls. I think they're very close and dependent on each other. You know, so I don't think
yeah, I
something
agree.
between them will happen.
I
But
agree.
who knows?
I don't know about Taiwan, but hopefully not.
I think it's the Cold War too right now. The Cold War too.
Yeah,
We're living in right now.
yeah, we are.
Strange times. Strange times.
Cold
Very
War
weird times.
remix, the
Yeah.
remix, but
Yeah. True. True. True.
yeah. So guys, if you enjoyed this chat, you know, as someone who lives in Asia at the moment, and I'm really enjoying India, but I don't know. I always like want to be in Albania because I made good friends there. My jujitsu club was really good there. You know, the training was really good. The people were solid, and the food was good. And I had like, honestly, I had like 135 square meter apartment for like 500 euros. Like 500 euros in Cambodia would get you like a dope studio, you know, in like a dope neighborhood, right? You know, but like obviously you could get a house for 200 bucks a month in some places, but if you wanted to be like prime real estate, I think when you put prime real estate in Southeast Asia next to prime real estate in Albania, you get more in Albania. Maybe you don't get the pool and the jacuzzi as much, but you get much more square footage, and the houses, in my opinion, are more comfortable and built better. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful and gave you an idea why we are both, you know, going to try to, you know, push the Albania service and talk to you guys about Albania a bit more. We're going to make more content on Albania. We're going to
For
have
sure.
a
For
lot more
sure.
topics, and we're going to even meet my partner's girlfriend potentially, who is, you know, originally Canadian, and she's decided that she's done with Justin Trudeau and his madness, and she's gonna, she's now living in Albania full time. So we're gonna meet some characters. Hopefully, we'll get you guys some up-to-date information on like just what's going on in the country. So look for these videos, look for this series, and thank you for watching. Again, any questions, hit us in the Facebook fan page or any of the contact information in the description below.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone.
What do you think of when you think of Albania? I think of opportunity. I think of a country that's open. I think of a country that wants long stay expats, that wants people to come and invest, wants new ideas, and is looking towards the West. I think that Albania is a beautiful country with incredible landscapes that can offer a very comfortable lifestyle at a very reasonable price. We will help navigate your journey to becoming an expat in Albania. We're working with some of the top lawyers. We can help establish businesses. We can help you get your residency. We can help you get real estate. We can arrange almost any contact that you might need for the process of moving here in almost any city in the country. We will simplify the process. We'll make it a lot easier for you to move to a country that maybe in the past would have been more of a challenge. With our help, it's going to be a walk in the park.